In this video, you'll learn how to create and use rubrics in Desire2Learn. A rubric is a scoring and feedback tool that explicitly spells out the expectations for an assignment. A rubric divides what you are looking for from the student on the assignment into criteria and provides clear descriptions of what you expect for each criteria at varying levels of mastery. The rubric tool in Desire2Learn can be found in the Assessment menu, and select Rubrics. To create a rubric, click the New Rubric button. Give it a name. In order to connect the rubric to an assignment, you need to set the status to Published. The description is optional. There are two types of rubrics: analytic and holistic. Holistic rubrics do not use points. The most common type of rubric is analytic, so that is the one this demonstration will be covering. Next, set the number of levels you want to score on. The levels are the column headers on the rubric table. Typically, these are things like excellent, average, poor, etc. Then set the number of criteria. These are the items you'll be scoring on the levels indicated above. There are 3 scoring methods on an analytic rubric. Text only is simply providing the students with text feedback and no points. Points gives all the criteria in a criteria group the same number of points per level. To give different criteria different points for the same level, you would need to place them in separate criteria groups, or you would need to select the custom points scoring method. Points is the most common use, so that's what the demonstration will show. If you ever need to remember what the different scoring methods mean, you can click the What are Scoring Methods link. You can set the rubric visibility if you'd like. Now we have set the basic settings, scroll back to the top. If you ever need help remembering what the different scoring methods mean, you can click the What are Scoring Methods link. Now that we have set the basic settings, scroll back to the top and select the Levels and Criteria tab. To quickly set all the levels and criteria names and the level point values, click the arrow to the right of the criteria heading and select Edit Criteria Group. If you scroll down the page, all the levels, you can also name all the criteria in the group. When you're done, click the Save button. You can either set the rest of the information by level or by criteria. Click the arrow to the right of either and choose Edit Level or Edit Criteria. You can then enter the description for each item. In this case, you would be entering the specification for receiving an excellent on each criteria. You could also enter default feedback in the feedback box. You will be given the opportunity to fill in feedback on a case-by-case basis, even if you leave this box blank. When you're done filling in the descriptions, click the Save button and repeat that process for each level or criteria until the table is filled out completely. If you need to add more criteria, levels, or an entire criteria group, click the appropriate button. You can also reorder the criteria or reverse the level order. After you've built out the table, you need to set the overall score level points. Click the arrow to the right of the overall score and choose Edit Levels. Here you'll need to name the levels again and enter the starting point value for that level. So if the student has to receive at least a 90% to receive an overall excellent on the submission, calculate how many points would make 90% and enter that into the box. You can also enter a description and feedback for each level of the overall score if you'd like. Do this for each level. When you're done, click the Save button. When you're all done, you should see a completed table that has all your points and descriptions entered as you would typically make available for the students when they're completing an assignment. Now we will attach this to an assignment. It is possible to attach rubrics in many places in Desire2Learn, but assignments are the most common place. Go to the Assignment Submission folder list, click the Assessment menu, and choose Assignments. Then edit the assignment by clicking the arrow to the right of its title. and choose Edit Submission folder. Scroll down the page and click the Add Rubric button. Select the rubric and click the Add Selected button. Then click Save and Close. Now I'll log in as a student to see what the rubric looks like. Here I am as a student looking at the content area. If I click on the assignment title and scroll down, I'll see a link for the rubric. When I click the link, I can see a preview of the rubric. Students can also see the rubric if they go directly to the assignment list and click on the assignment. I'm back as the instructor now. The student has submitted a paper so we can see how to grade using the rubric. Click on the submission. On the right side of the screen, you'll see a link to the rubric. When you click on that link, you'll be presented with the rubric. You can click in the appropriate level for each criteria to assign those points to the submission. You can also give feedback or change the point value on each criteria by clicking the pencil under the score and feedback for that criteria. Enter the feedback or change the points, and click the Save button. The system will add up the scores from the criteria and select the appropriate overall score. If you're satisfied with the points and feedback, click the Save and Record button to transfer the rubric information to the score and feedback areas of the Dropbox scoring area. You can see the score and the feedback from the rubric have been entered into the appropriate boxes. To publish this information to the student, click the Publish button. Now I will log back in as a student so you can see what the score and feedback look like to them. As a student, if I go look at my grades, see the score and feedback I received on the paper. To see the rubric and how it was filled out, I would need to either go to the assignment or to the class progress. In the class progress, select Assignments on the left. Click the Details link under the appropriate assignment and click the rubric link. It will then show the student exactly what was filled out on the rubric. Those are the basics of creating and using a rubric in Desire2Learn.